All right, so end of season 2, you're in a different place. You're emotionally, like, obviously in the season 1 you were driven to fight for a noble cause. Now you're kind of in sideline, you're captured, but you're kind of emotionally trapped a little bit with Sauron. How was it for you playing that arc for the whole entire season?
It was really great starting the season in such a different place, and I kind of loved her growth of kind of realizing the value in hope and light instead of just fighting and revenge, and that's her ultimate kind of weapon against the big bad of Sauron. Yeah.
Now, Charlie, you had in the first season we didn't know you were the villain. Now you have to play a villain that has a very interesting weapon, psychological warfare. Difficult to act. What was your thought about playing that for the whole entire season?
It's been really fun. It's kind of nice to be. Do you want me to hold it? Is that easier? It's a bit different for me because I'm so far away. Yours could be right there. Yeah, it was such a fun season. I kind of approached the character in a very similar way. I internally, but I changed obviously quite a lot of things on the outside. But it was nice to be out in the open in that way. So a lot of the psychological warfare, as you say, we're privy to as the audience. Whereas I still think a lot of that was going on with Sauron and Galadriel in the first season. It's just, yeah, we weren't with Sauron on his journey. So I like to think of it almost like when he was doing his weird Sauron things, the camera was on you. Yeah. Whereas in this season, like when he's being weird, the camera stays with him instead, because we're now kind of in on watching him maneuver his way through Middle-earth.
I was really moved by your finale scene with Adar. Your character finally finds reconciliation and peace with the orcs. And of course, Sauron steals it away from you. Yes. What did you feel about that scene and playing that scene?
I love that scene, and I also love that obviously Adar does something absolutely monumental, which is refuse a ring of power. And I think that will really stay with her. And I like to think that they like sing songs about him and remember him. Yeah.
Now, for you, Charlie, first season you were mostly with Galadriel. This season you're mostly with Celebrimbor and Charlie Edwards. What was the dynamic playing with him, kind of getting into his head and affecting his mind, and that great final moment where he gets under your skin and does a prophecy?
Yeah. It was so much fun. And like working with Morfydd in the first season, I've been really lucky because kind of all my work on this show has just been duologues, really, with each season an amazing actor to work with. And it was fantastic working with Charlie. We were very lucky in that we were just kind of talking to each other like this in the same set for the whole season. And he's such an amazing actor. He has this real gift of being able to keep things light despite the heaviness of the material. So we had, I don't think I can do justice to how much fun we had and how much we liked going into work every day. And it's funny when you're doing something like this because you kind of just rock up and start doing it and you're making quite bold choices, but you do get a feeling when you're doing something from the crew that, oh, this is kind of working, I think. And so we were kind of buoyed by that throughout the season.
All right, our last question is, the whole season we've been waiting for you two to confront each other, both physically and emotionally. What was it like for you playing that final scene where you get to face off?
Well, Charlie had hidden himself from me, so I hadn't seen him in his full Anatar form, and I find it so terrifying because it was all the garb and everything, but also just his eyes were this dark villain that he'd hidden from her in season 1 was just suddenly there, and it was really unnerving, but really fun as well.
Yeah, it was really fun. That was a whole sequence that we filmed over a week or two, but we'd rehearsed. The only time we'd seen each other is in rehearsal, really, because we're both filming so intensely. And we'd crossed paths a little bit, but I made sure not to let you see me. But yeah, it was. I think the main thing was trying to make the scene work as a scene, separate from all the fighting, as though we could be standing talking to each other, and the scene would be really interesting, and then the fighting comes second. So it was fun.
Can you confirm on the social media accounts of Galadriel and Sauron that your relationship is still, it's complicated for season 3?
Yeah.
Well, I think unfortunately no, sir. It's terrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
From your perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe from mine. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not happy.
thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you.